grew up like I was a chunky kid and then I was like this super scrawny kid. So it's like I remember there was this like long battle with that. And then just like it was a real aesthetic thing. And I think I was always like, I've always liked girls, but it's like I was like not getting girls was like a difficult thing. So it's like I did all this, you know, I tried to be what I thought they wanted, and like even like to a point where it's like,
welcome everybody to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo Christopher Michael and Ashley Mayland, where they delve into life, love, relationships, and personal growth. Be sure to tune in every week for a refreshing take on life's most important lessons.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're joined today with Jacob Razo. What's up, brother?
how's it going?
Good, man. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming all the way over here. We appreciate it.
Beautiful weather.
Hopefully your travels were good.
Fantastic.
Awesome, man. So we're going to talk today. So you have a platform today where you're looking basically to give, you want to give men advice, right? That's the gist of it.
I think when it started out, I didn't know what it was. I think it was just kind of like we were trying to figure out TikTok and seeing if we even had an opportunity to grow on media. And I think now I structured it for guys. Like it was just kind of like fresh and fit, right? I was trying to go this polar opposite because I've always been against shit like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to gain this male perspective that's completely different than stuff like that, and like a middle ground. Just basically being a guy back, just being a normal, you know, an actual man back.
Yeah.
And women took to it, and I think it turned into this like relationship comedy advice kind of column, and turned into like thinking like a man, giving men's perspectives on things, like an actual just middle perspective on things instead of being so extreme.
The crazy part is they prey on women that they obviously know what the show is about, right? So they know what they're getting themselves into. Otherwise, it's naivety. But they know that to them, like what they really want is they want the followers, right? They want the clicks from people watching the show. So they want the attention. So they have something that they want, and then they basically abuse that by putting them on and berating them for it. And I said, it's the same thing as telling a girl, I don't want anything, right? Like, I'm not serious. I'm not looking for anything serious. But then you continue to hang out with her. Like, you already know that girl's intention is hoping that something more will come of it.
That's one of my biggest things.
Yeah, you can say that all you want to a girl or to a guy. At the end of the day, they're sticking around in the hope that something's going to come from it. It's the same concept with the show. They're looking for something.
Yeah.
You know, and then the guys are taking advantage of the situation.
The funny part to me was like, so I know a few people in Miami. So one of my best friends lives out there. And it's like hearing the stories of like, they've hooked up with a lot of girls from the show.
Right.
Which is funny. So his ex was on the show, and they take like, after the show, they'll take like some of those girls out, which is like, if you broadcasted that, your credibility just drops.
Oh, you're done.
So they're
Of course they do.
Yeah, they're like taking them to like a club or whatever, and like they try to hook up with them. Like everybody else, it's just like a thing that they do. So the show is basically clout, right? You get somebody that's astounded by numbers that you have,
right? And
they just take advantage of it. But at the same time, you're giving off this masculine vibe, like you don't care, but your goal is the same as everybody else's. The commonality of like what dudes want, as far as like a small, like if you look at it in a simplistic way, it's not bad. Guys want girls.
Absolutely.
It's not a terrible thing. No. Now, the way you go about doing that, that's where it gets like, you can be a shitty person.
Well, yeah, you come into gray areas depending on how you treat women. But the reality of it is, you're right, there is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to want a woman. We're men, and women want men.
And
like that's fine. It's the natural order of things.
Yeah, I think women know that too. Because I was telling her, it's like girls know, like they know that like a girl gets out of a ticket. They know, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like something. It's not a bad thing.
No,
it was never a bad thing. It was just common knowledge. There was no need to take it to the extent of like hating on either side of that.
Right. And the other thing is, it's like they act like they tend to harp on women that are gold diggers, right?
Yeah.
But dude, there's always been gold diggers in the world. Like, what are you talking? And most of them are fairly transparent.
There's two things to that too. It's always guys that have no money anyway. You don't even have money. There are no gold diggers in your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so what point are you trying to make? Because the people that actually have that kind of money, they want women around. They actually enjoy it. They don't care if they're a gold digger. They have plenty to spare. But the other thing, it's like when you think about just history, like that was the whole order of things. Women married men for their lands and for their money and for their inheritance and things like that. That's how it worked. Women didn't work. That was the whole point. Like a man married a woman for a family, and a woman married a man for a life, like a good life. Like, so that's tale as old as time.
Yeah. So if you're trying to go like real classic, you're going to start selling people for chicken and pigs again. Like,
Right.
That's how it went. But it's funny that you said like about the gold diggers, like showing intentions. Cause I feel like what is perceived as a gold digger, right, is not a gold digger. It's like they can like nice, like I used to live in LA, so you can go to like these hotels, like these really nice hotels, and you would see these girls, and they're not shy about it. They just prey on these dudes. So like if you pull up in like a Tesla truck, they like eyes open, ears perked, and they'll go up to them and literally pursue it. Like that's their goal.
Absolutely.
Like they're trying to hit, like they know what they're doing. The guy usually knows what they're doing, or they could be like confused. It could be like a guy that maybe doesn't fit the mold of like objectively attractive.
Right.
And they'll still get it. But those girls know what they're doing. Taking a girl out to dinner, I wouldn't consider that gold digging.
No.
Or weird time we live in.
It's crazy. The problem is there's chivalry is kind of falling off.
Gone.
Because it's ridiculous because at the end of the day, like they post up these videos, right? Like just people in general of women complaining that this guy took me to McDonald's or this and that. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Listen, I don't like when things are expected to a degree. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I also don't have a fucking problem with it. I don't think there's a reason to take a girl to fucking McDonald's for a first date or do shit like that. Like, that's just me. I just don't see why guys have an issue with it. Like, what's wrong with treating a woman to a nice dinner or having that level of chivalry or respect?
Right.
You don't need to go take her to
and that's the
a
point.
5-star restaurant. I mean, but seriously, for like a fucking coffee date, like that's what it has to be.
It's one thing if a guy's up front. If he says, look, I'm not doing great right now. Like, I'm not gonna be able to take you to nice restaurants and things like that at this point in my life. Like, I still like you. I'd like to see you. I'd like to hang out with you. But I hope that you know that, like, I'm just not in that place. Like, that's one thing. Right. And if a girl's like, whatever, I don't care. You can go to McDonald's. I don't care. That's fine. Right. But if it's like they're in a decent place, but they're trying to prove a point, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take her to McDonald's just so she understands where we stand, you know?
It's just, it's expecting a lot of vulnerability at once. Like, and again, like it changes as you get older. Like I feel like once you get a little bit more financially stable, it becomes an easier thing. But you have, like, if you date younger, right? Like I think within the younger generation, it's like social media has kind of set these expectations up where it's like, I always say like a guy in your 20s, it's a fucking rough time.
Yeah,
like 20s is confusing. Like you don't get it. Like you're not getting into clubs. You don't know how to like pay bouncers. You don't have enough money to drop $100 to get into a place. You don't have Nobu Mastro. You don't have those types of things. So where it's like when you get older, it's easier because it's like, this money's going to come back. I can spend this. This is something that I want to spend it on. So I feel like when you talk to somebody that doesn't expect those things and just understands that it's a date, maybe not. McDonald's is a bit low on the fucking totem. Right. But you can do anything with that person. I think it's just you two being together and enjoying each other's time.
I agree. It is. It's the thought that counts, right? So you can do fairly inexpensive things and then be very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like you said, to your point, but when you're doing something to try to prove a point or needle somebody, like you don't deserve this, like it's stupid. Like,
and there's a lot of guys like that, unfortunately.
It's ridiculous.
That they're just like, they have this weird, I've got to, keep her down here mentality. Like I can't let her think she's up here with me. I don't know. It's weird.
My brother uses the term because you got to keep him on the chopping block.
Yeah.
He says it jokingly, but it's true.
I think also it's like guys don't think about consistency. So like when I was young, like we would do this stupid stuff. So it's like you would have this like really nice apartment with like 7 dudes living in it. Yeah. But you would have all your friends like go out because you had a girl coming over. So the girls thinking like, I always try to like tell people these stories because it's just funny. We were fucking dumb. But so it's like you'd have your friends go downstairs so it looks like your apartment, and then the Turo app, you can rent this BMW for a day, right?
Yeah.
So all aesthetically wise, this girl's getting picked up in a nice BMW going to this badass loft. Like they're doing all these things and it's like they have no idea that it's not yours. So you can fake that, but it's like, what's the consistency? And then it's like you don't talk to her again for 2 weeks because you got to wait for that next paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot, and it's funny, a lot of people fake it today, and it's really because you can't keep it up for long. Like it's just impossible.
Social media is so funny. Like I think I've gotten to a place now where I have more fun off my phone than on it.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
It's like so weird to have to take a picture, like make sure people know that I'm doing this fun stuff.
Right.
So I think that's what it is. Like social media is just, it fucked us. Like everything looks so fun on there, but it's like, unless you're living that lifestyle, it's not your lifestyle. Like you're not.
No. And we've talked about this before. It's a very small percentage of like, you see a lot of either a lot of fake or a lot of just the best moments that somebody's experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see what it took people to get there, the struggles they went through, how they built what they have. Right. So you fantasize about this lifestyle with people. And meanwhile, it's not reality, right? And a very small percentage of people have what some of these men or women are looking for.
Yeah.
So it's like you're kind of just spinning your wheels most of the time. It's like just what's wrong with just genuinely getting to know people the way we used to, like just men and women just being on the same page. It's insane. I just don't understand how things got so polarized between us. Like when the fuck did it start? Like,
I think it started when women decided they wanted rights. That's when I think it started. I think that the moment women started saying, no, that's actually bullshit, and I'm not going to just sit here and take it. I think that's the minute that men started, like, the backlash, the polarity, the, tit for tat against the other sex. That's when I think it started. I do think there's always been something there, even previously before that, because, abuse is old as time. Like, it's not like it just started when women started wanting rights. Like, there
was a push and pull. I mean, I think the 90s and early 2000s were fucking amazing.
I was a child looking back, but I think we've made a war.
Yeah.
Like we don't like each other at all. Like we were talking about this. So it's like instead of like, why do we have to we add a gender to, we could just say there's shitty people.
Yeah.
There's shitty people. There's just, people suck sometimes, but it doesn't mean it's like, oh, there's shitty women, there's shitty men. It's just, there's shitty people.
Yeah.
There are just terrible personalities. I think that now it's just women and women. And now we have a battle of just going back and forth. Because if you get poked enough, you're going to poke back.
Absolutely.
So you're going to go back and forth with this to where it's like, if women say this, it's like like we were joking, but it's like height, right? Like height's a big deal. It's like, oh, 6 feet and up. And like, so little things like that, it's like that can get on somebody's nerves. They're going to say something back. So it's like, you go for height, we're going to poke at weight. They go for you're just going to, like you said, tit for tat. Like, when does that end? Because now we're just disliking each other forever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong. People have types. Like that's the other thing. I see people go online. There's some girl that put on a video, like she doesn't shave her arms. She doesn't shave her legs. And she made some remark as if, people weren't accepting it. Like, dude, it's not that no one's accepting it. Like, that's fine. Do you be comfortable in your own skin? But understand that men and women have types. Mm-hmm. They may not like it. They're not knocking you for it. They're not telling you that you can't be comfortable in your own skin. They just don't fucking like that you don't shave your legs. and that's okay. Everybody has a type. What's the big deal? Why does it have to be such a polarized thing? Like, why are you making a video about it and making it sound like men won't let you be yourself? That's not what it is.
That's true too. I think I think it's just shitting on what people do. Like, I think it's just turned into a thing where we just talk shit about how people are, what they were born with. You talked about 90s and early 2000s. I remember like just being a kid. So I was a kid, but just like, like what you find attractive, even at like young ages. Yeah. So it's like, there was so much variety where it's like everybody looked different, but it was okay. Right. Like I feel like everybody now is like, there's a specific look you have to hit. Like there's like very specific looks. There's like 3 you can have. Like the Kardashians kind of shifted culture as far as like what pretty is. And then the celebrity culture, it's like it's like lips, like, can I say tits on here?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Lips, tits, ass. Like, it's like this whole body thing, hourglass shape. Like, it's turned into that where it's like, that wasn't a thing back then, I feel like. Like, it was not like a lot of lip filler. I don't remember like a lot of BBLs from 90s, 2000s. I don't even remember seeing that.
And if someone had one, you probably didn't even know.
No. Like, I used to go to high school with this girl. I won't say her name, but she had, when you look at it now, she had a really nice ass. She had a big ass, but she used to get shunned for it. Like, seriously, it was not like an in thing. Like, she would get shit on for it in high school. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I talked to her now. She was actually my junior prom date. I messed with her and I'm like, if you think about it now, like, you were way ahead of your time.
Yeah. But you're right. Because it's like, I think back then it was like the Miller Lite girls where it was like, there was almost like, it was like small perky butt, but just tits were huge and like blonde. Right. Like, it was like this blonde bombshell look. So it's like, you're going into like, now it's like, you can find somebody that looks exactly like a person that you lost. Like, you can make it. Yeah. It's like Build-A-Bear. Guys too. It's like, have you seen the jaw shaving?
Yes, what? I have.
Guys get their like jaw shaved. So it's like, if you have like a rounder face, you can shape it down.
What about the height surgery?
The
bone lengthening.
Got my knees done.
Yeah. Just got my shins extended.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do all of it. Calves too. I have small calves, so it's like everybody. It's funny because like I live in Nashville, so it's like the body judgment isn't as crazy there as like if you come to like a Miami, a Los Angeles, New York. So it's like you come to these cities, you're like, I know there's a doctor that can do, and then you're in the South. It's like nobody cares. Right. Like nobody gives a shit. Like, it's just you're thick, you're skinny, or whatever the fuck. It's your body. Yeah. Be healthy for sure. Right. But yeah, it's definitely different. Like, and now it's like you have this crazy, you're cheering on things that are unhealthy when it's like you could be fit and you just have a body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just born like thicker, like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you're born with a specific frame.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter who you are. Like,
and that's cool.
It's
I think
fine.
you fit your frame.
yeah.
Like you look, I always say like Zendaya, right?
Yeah.
Zendaya's not like busty and curvy, but she's a gorgeous girl.
Yeah,
Right.
she's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's like that's her frame.
Yeah.
To try to change that, it's like some things almost don't work on that frame.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Like she fits perfectly. And then you have thicker girls that are like, that fits for their frame. Their
Right.
body looks proportional.
Mm-hmm.
And like, people don't want that anymore. We just learn to hate ourselves.
That brings me into the video I was going to show of his.
Oh yeah, go for
I
it.
sent it to you.
This is okay. This is okay. This is okay. Everything is okay.
Genuinely don't think I could find one dude that would be able to find something that was not okay, but I guess he was talking about the jiggle. Real guys don't give a shit. Cellulite, stretch marks, fucking that thing that happens when you guys wear tight sports bras that you call back fat. It's not back fat. The jiggle, we don't care. Nobody notices. This body dysmorphia thing is getting out of hand. All the photos online and shit are like perfect lighting and like photoshopped and like smoothed out, face tuned. It's not real. And anybody that thinks it's real is fucking slow. So, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about it. And if a dude's worried about shit like that on you, then I wouldn't even worry about that guy. There's so many different good types of body types where it's like you could be tall, you could be short, you could be fucking thick, petite, whatever you got going on. If you look good, you look good. And that's all that matters. Feel good, love yourself. Fuck the body dysmorphia stuff that we got going on.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Facts.
It's the truth.
I think it's good for women to hear that from like guys that are still attractive, you know, because
Yeah.
like I mean, if it's like a dweeby, and that sounds so bad and so mean, but if it's like this dweeby dude I'd never be interested in anyway, it's like, oh, thanks. Oh, you're so sweet. But like hearing it from a normal attractive male, it's like, well, you saw how many views that had, like 3.4 million views. There's a lot of women that are like, thank you. I can wear shorts with my cellulite hanging out and it's okay. I mean, I would do it anyway. I don't care. I have the confidence for it because I'm just like, whatever. Like, I don't think I look bad. So, but some women are really insecure and like the whole idea that they have to have the BBL and the mommy makeover and all these things to be seen as attractive to men, like will like haunt them. They'll cover themselves up because they're afraid that people are going to think they look bad. And it's really sad.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I'll say though, just to the point you just made, just like the dweeby. So here's the thing. This is where it kind of gets gray for me. So no offense, Ash, but when we say things like that, right? Like the less attractive guys or girls say things like this, it doesn't mean much to us. That's part of the problem, right? Like sometimes, because at the end of the day, those guys and girls probably mean it the most genuinely.
Yeah, they might.
Because the reality of it is most attractive people probably have more ulterior motives. And it could come from a place of just, insincerity.
Trying to get women.
Yeah.
Was that why you made this video, Jacob?
That's definitely
Going
why you
for
made
more
it.
women.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's like, you know what? If I say this,
100%.
my DMs are going to blow up.
The ulterior motive is crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's the truth, what you said. It really is. And that was to my point about the girl that made the video about how she grows her leg hair in. I was like, dude, everybody has a type. It's fine. You can look how you want to look. There'll be someone out there for you. There's no reason to make a thing about it. And just be comfortable with who you are, and you'll find somebody eventually.
And also, it's like I think confidence goes both ways. Like
Yeah.
it's like the most tiring thing to date somebody that you think is pretty, and they just don't believe you. Like it's almost like you have to say that type deal. Like no, I'm saying it because I mean it, and it's like how long do we have to do this loop where you don't believe me or like you don't take a compliment? So it's like this. It's attractive when a girl's confident. I'm sure the same thing. It's like if a guy's not confident, you can feel it. It's the same way for us. Like if you're not confident, it's like, okay, we can't go anywhere unless makeup's done, hair is done. Like we can't leave the house.
Yeah.
And we gotta get all that to the nines. Like I'm like, just you look fine.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying that because it's like you look fine, let's go. I'm literally telling you look fine.
Yeah.
And it's like I think we're at a state now where it's like nobody believes it.
I think the younger the woman too, the more the insecurity. Like the older I get, the less I care about having to be done up to go somewhere. Like I do. I mean, obviously, like we went to go to CVS last night, and I was like, hold on, let me do my lips. Let me put some perfume on. Kind of joking, but I also can leave the house without a stitch of makeup on and wear sweatpants for a solid week and not care at all. But when I was 20, I couldn't do that. When I was 25, I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like the older you get, the less you care. Like in a way, like the less you care what other people think about how you look.
Right.
So
that's fine. Listen, it's okay with wanting to go out looking good.
Yeah.
It's not always an insecurity. Some people just want to go out to the nines all the time.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's completely fine. But yeah, if you're doing it from a place of insecurity, like, I don't know how it is for girls. Like, as a guy, if I'm dating someone or if I love you, I don't give a fuck. Go out in sweatpants. I'll take you to a 5-star restaurant. You can wear a fucking hoodie. It doesn't mean shit to me. Go out without makeup. At the end of the day, the way I look at it is you don't need to impress me, right? And why are you trying to impress anybody else? If you're happy with who you are, you're fine. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, though, it's like it is a more for them thing, which I get to that point. But I think it's the self-loathing that like irks me. Like, it's like getting dressed. I feel like that's like a very feminine thing to do. Getting dressed up, putting on your makeup, it's a feminine thing. Like, I think it's cool. I think it's just something they do for themselves.
Right.
But to the point where it's like, we can't do anything without it, or you don't believe that you look good. Like, it's like, that's a drag on me because now I got to spend all this time convincing and you're just not believing me. Like, it's not getting through. Like, you have such this image that you think that you should look like, or you don't look like, or you have this standard for yourself that it's like, you're hitting it with me.
Right.
Like, and you're hitting it for the world. Like, people think you're attractive. So that's, I think, where it gets difficult, because it's like, damn. Like, how long do I have to do this to where you're not going to believe, or you're going to feel secure? Because then I'm not doing my job. You don't feel secure with me. Like, am I fucking up in some way?
Right.
Yeah. And then you could wind up in a position where, she or he's looking for affirmation from other people. And it's like, well, all right, well, why does that reinforce you? Right. Like, so you prefer the word over people other than me. That's, it's like, why? Like, what do you?
Dopamine rush. We all get that dopamine from something new. I think I've hit this point in my life. I don't know. Like, did you guys hit a point where you were just kind of like happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where you were like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, when do you guys think that was for you?
I think a couple years ago that began for me, where I was like genuinely content with where I was at.
Do you remember like a situation where you felt it? Like, can you recall something to where it's like, not that you don't care, but you're like, I'm happy.
I knew I had put in the work for it. Like, I had been working out regularly, not to get skinny, not to get fit, just to feel better. And I genuinely felt better. And I could put on clothes and I wasn't thinking about it. Like, does this look good? Does it not? I just could throw on clothes. And I remembered thinking, God, this is nice. Like, this feels great to just throw on something and feel good in it, regardless. Like, I don't have to do a double take. I can just throw on some clothes. But like I said, I've been putting in the work for it too. Yeah. And I think that's huge for confidence. And I think that goes on both parties. The healthier you are, the better you feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you can be any size and be healthy. But like, just even like working out and building endorphins and things like that, you feel better, even if you looked exactly the same as you did, 6 months ago and you felt like crap. Like, you just feel better.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing. Do you remember like an age like where you hit it? Young, growing into like a man? Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, so this always comes up. So I'm a recovering addict. Okay. So I stopped using about 9 years ago this October.
Hell yeah. Congrats.
Thank you. So probably like about a year after that, but it was weird. Like I was very happy and content with where I was in my life and I am today. But for me, it was more, I just at that moment in my life stopped caring what other people thought about things.
Yeah. Like
just completely and utterly. And from that point forward, I just became a much happier person.
It's a liberating moment.
It is.
I remember like there was this whole, because like, I mean, I grew up like I was a chunky kid and then I was like this super scrawny kid. So it's like, I remember there was this like long battle with that. And then just like, it was a real aesthetic thing. And I think I was always like, I've always liked girls, but it's like, I was like not getting girls was like a difficult thing. So it's like, I did all this, I tried to be what I thought they wanted. And like, even like to a point to where it's like, I was taking steroids, like, and then like, I got to this point where it was like, steroids will make you fucking just unhuman. And there's nothing like guys that do them, like whatever, no biggie.
Right.
But it's like, you get to this point where it's like, you're fucking literally unnatural. Yeah. Like you look great. And it's like, it's not, you still like, I still didn't like it. Like it wasn't enough. And you're still like chasing this dragon of like, whether it's like whatever it is, you can be addicted to how you look and like chasing this
image.
Yeah. Chasing an image. Right. And it was like the weirdest place. And I remember I just took like a year off from everything. Like I just kind of hung out with my friends and I got back to like a homeostasis of just enjoying myself and like being happy and doing like, I was like, what the fuck happened to fun?
Yeah.
Like there's so many things now, like we're told what fun is and like, this is what fun is. And it's like, what the fuck happened to like what we enjoy? Like, where did that go?
Yeah.
It's gone. Like it's like this weird, we were talking about social media. It's like this weird phase of like people not knowing how to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Like you can't enjoy it. It has to be at this place. You have to be drinking these things. You have to be this boat. You have to be with these people. Girls have to be like, when did that become a thing to where it's like, I'm just enjoying the day was cool.
Yeah.
Like I had a great day.
No, I agree. Yeah. Honestly, most of the time, it's like the most spontaneous things are the most fun sometimes too.
Oh man.
Like everybody's so premeditated about things today. It's like everybody's got to be on a set schedule to do this, do that. Like you just said, it's like, dude, just go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Like relax, kick back, chill out. Don't worry about all the fucking bullshit and noise around you, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Like like, I think that was like it was just such a good moment when you realize that like happiness is like so easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a cool thing to just be happy. And we set expectations so high for ourselves. I think that, and then it falls into dating too.
It does.
Where it's like, oh, my relationship doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, this isn't the picture that I want. So I'm not going to do that. And it's like, okay, well, what if this is a really good thing for you? Like you really enjoy it, but you're going off because it doesn't fit the narrative of what you have structured.
Yeah.
So true.
Just life in general.
I have a question for you. With your like social media, do you feel like women have like this character in their mind of who they think you are versus who you actually are?
I think that's with everybody online.
Yeah, I do too.
For sure.
Do you get a lot of like messages where I don't know how to explain it, but like, were you just like, wow, these people really have no idea who I actually am?
Well, I mean, like, I think when I started the social media thing, that was like I was like very, very hard set on like just authenticity, just being myself. So I think there wasn't too much out there to where I don't think there's anything out there to where it's like, I'm not just being who I am. So I think I'm to a degree the same person, like obviously good days, bad days, whatever, like I'm human. But I think with that, my point was just bringing like just being a person back.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're so infatuated with like either whether it be celebrity or whatever it is, like we're so into it, and it's like just being a person is cool. And then what's funny is like they started this don't follow celebrities movement.
Yeah.
And I did that a long time ago because I'm like, I'm so infatuated with these lives.
Yeah.
And this isn't my life.
Right.
Like I'm not an actor. I'm not I'm not a rock star. I'm nothing like that. And it's like you drown yourself in like what you think is good. And then like a lot of these people have shitty relationships.
Oh, for sure.
The Hollywood divorces is the most common thing on the planet.
It's insane.
Yeah, but we love like a picture, and like we love these things. The people that post pictures of like Travis, what is it? Travis Barker.
Kelsey?
Travis.
No.
Oh. Travis Barker.
Maybe that one too. Like there was a video of Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift dancing, and they're like, "I want this." I'm like, "Is that difficult to find? You can't dance with somebody."
It is actually
To find somebody you can dance with.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty. I think but again, it's like more alluring because they're like at the top of their game and what they're doing. Like he's fantastic in the NFL. She's one of the biggest artists on the planet.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is that different than just vibing with the person that you have?
Because you don't see relationships like that very often anymore. Everything's so superficial. This is what I think the obsession is with the two of them. They genuinely look happy together.
Yeah.
They genuinely seem to enjoy each other. They genuinely seem to like each other. And you don't get that anymore. Everyone is so superficial. You go into relationships and they're just like, it's like they want an image, like you were saying, like they just want the relationship to look a certain way. They don't really like the person. They don't really even love the person. They're just kind of like keeping them around because it looks good for them to have them by their side when they're out. But like, there's no real true connection there. It's superficial, you know?
I don't know how you live that way, honestly. I'd rather be single for the
I can't
rest
do
of my
it.
life.
I can't do it. I don't. In fact, that's why I've been single as long as I have, because I can't. But I see it all the time. I've been in it before where I was that person that they were like, I was just there as like an appendage to make them look better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was talking to my friends because it's like I've hit this place in my life where it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm 30. I have friends that are older than me. And then it's like they always date down.
Right.
And when I tried that, I was like, this is exhausting for me. Not to say that all young women are like, it's not, I'm not trying to generalize that, but when you date down, it's like unrealistic expectation of life.
Right.
It's like, I can't do that.
Right.
And like I can fake that. Again, I can go back to like my early 20s and like fake that I have that, but I'm not that. To where it's like, if I talk to somebody that's my age or even older, like the conversation is easier. Like it's so much more down to earth. Like it's just an easier conversation to have.
Of course.
And you should expect something out of a partner. If you're looking for somebody to be a partner, or if you're just looking to date, like hang out with, just as whatever it may be, there should be some expectations of things you should do, like normal expectations, just regular stuff. But like when I talk to somebody, again, my age, older, the expectations are a lot more normal and understood. Like you said, like taking a girl to dinner, that's normal. There's nothing simpy about it. There's no gold digging about taking a girl to dinner. There's nothing wrong with taking a girl on a nice date. There's nothing wrong with that. And you turn that into simping where it's like, that's insanity. But when you go younger, it's like, it needs to be this fun, this stuff. Again, it's like you get a lot of that. So it's like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you have the energy to do it.
It's funny.
It's the expectation that's been set for them all since, because they're the generation of social media, right?
Yeah.
So they've had that expectation set for them from, basically out of the fucking womb, which is ridiculous.
True.
So that's what they expect. And a lot of younger women go for older men now. I mean, dude, I can't tell you how many, like, if I go on a dating app, 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, like, dude, I'm 40 years old. So it's like, what's the appeal for you, right? Because life experience is not there for us.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you can't possibly carry certain types of conversation with me. So I don't know how, aside from the fact that you might think I'm successful and I can give you some of the material things that you want in your life, like what do I really have for you?
The mentality is so different.
Yeah.
It's just,
I feel like the past 10 years was like the fastest moving 10 years ever. Like I feel like the last 10 was like 30, because even me talking to somebody that's like 24, I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Right. Yeah, right.
I'm like, the language changed.
Yeah.
Like everything is changing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know like what you're saying. I don't know about these people. I don't know I don't even know like what popular music is anymore. Like I'm like, am I getting old? And I'm like, but there's like new famous people every 10 minutes, music every 10. I'm like, I can't keep up anymore.
so true.
Like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, I don't think that happens. I don't think that's happened ever.
Yeah.
I feel like within like a 5 to 8 year like gap, you would still be fine.
Yeah.
Like back in the day. Now it's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that's
What did I
so
miss?
true.
Yeah.
Like even like guys that are like 21, ish. I am like, it's like they're children. They look like children. They talk like children. They act like children. And I'm like, is this how they were when I was 21?
No.
You got to give an example.
I mean, they were bad, but were they this bad?
Give an example of like a 21-year-old trying to talk to you.
Okay. So like at the gym, when I go to the gym,
Put it on the table.
Put it all out there.
there's always like these kids in there and they come walking in. They're a group. Okay. They're a group of guys and they're all wearing pajama
It's a
pants
style.
and wife beaters. They all have like mullets or like
Broccoli
just
haircut.
grown out
or the mop
wild.
tops.
Mop tops.
Yeah, just no like nothing that looks like they're even trying at all.
Right.
They're like their faces are so young. Like they look so young and they're like 21, 22, 23. And they look like the kids that I went to high school with at my freshman year of high school. You know what I mean? And then I kind of like will overhear them talking and it's just like, bruh, like bro, just everything is like, dude, I can't. There's no real language.
Riz.
It's all like shortened like words and like abbreviations for every sentence. Like I'm just like, what is going on over there? It's like cavemen, new age cavemen. Like, are the cells working in there? Hello?
They don't put the effort in. Listen, God, you know what the problem is? They all think they're God's gift, right? They grew up in a generation where we started giving out fucking trophies and ribbons to last place finishers in sports.
Participation.
Yeah, participation awards. So it's like their effort. They don't put any effort into anything they do. Even it's when it comes to talking to a woman or going out and how you approach somebody, right? They just think that it's owed to them. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking?
They don't open
What's up
doors
with you, man?
for women. They don't.
It sucks to be a guy now because it's like there was a time when it's like you had to suck at stuff because that's how you got better at stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't know. When I was younger, it's like somebody would be like, you're like if you were doing something dorky, they'd be like, you're a fucking dork. And you didn't take that personally. You'd be like, ah, damn, I am. Like, maybe that was a little dorky.
Right.
And you adjust. Like, now it's like, now you can just start a riot if somebody insults you. It's like, I'm starting a Facebook group today.
Yeah.
Where I'm getting 90,000 followers of people that just hate you. And it's like, you can just get better. Like, that's how you grow. And like, now it's like, we can just fight for everything. Like, this is okay. And this is like, I'm like, okay. Like, nobody's saying it isn't, but we can grow. We can become better.
Yeah.
And there's things that I do now where it's like, my dad taught me to do things when I was a kid that like, just, you too, I'm like changing a tire.
Yeah.
That was like the easiest thing ever. Like
Absolutely.
That. And like, you look so cool now doing it. Like if you could change a tire, you can change some oil.
Yeah.
Just, you're like, you're up there. Like
Yeah.
the word masculinity is like
the bar is so low now.
Yeah, like I have family members, like I had a lot of family members in construction, or like, family members that were plumbers, electricians, and that shit is hard. That stuff was like, go do that yourself. You can change your tire. You can change your oil. Like, you can do that.
Maybe this is why this generation loves MILF so much.
A mom?
Yeah, like moms, because it's like they can't do it all by themselves. They need someone to do it for them. Oh, it has been?
Yeah, Lisa Ann was, Lisa Ann's been around a while.
Who's Lisa Ann? Who's Lisa Ann?
I was expecting, I'm like, there's no way there's two dudes in this room that's just going to leave me hanging on that. She's just this, she was like the MILF of MILFs, I guess.
Yeah.
In the adult industry, but it was like a known thing that's what she did.
Okay.
Doug definitely do.
He's like, oh yeah.
Doug hit it right away.
She was like, early years of me watching that shit.
Yeah, that's that. She was, she was like the trendsetter of like that thing. Like, you had like other ones where it would be like, Married with Children.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
What's her name? Peggy.
Peggy Bundy.
Peggy
Bundy. Oh no, it's
Peggy
Katie
is a real
Siegel.
name. Katie Siegel.
Katie Siegel.
Okay. Peggy was like she was like, that was like a MILF thing.
Yeah.
That's just like a thing about, I don't know.
That's Steven Seagal's sister.
Is it really?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Imagine being his fucking sister.
That's insane. She did great. She looked good in Sons of Anarchy too.
She did, yeah.
She looked incredible. She's aging like fine wine. But yeah, as far as like I think the MILF and Cougar thing, that's just been a thing that's been around. But
yeah, it has since American Pie days. Remember?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Stifler's mom.
Oh,
Stifler's mom.
True. Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yeah, but are girls going back now? Like, do girls like younger?
Yeah.
Ashley likes younger.
What's the cutoff, DiCaprio?
I do have a cutoff. It's at this stage it's
18.
28. I will absolutely not.
I'm kidding.
I will not go lower than 28. Absolutely not.
All right, that's not bad.
But even 28, it's like oof. There's a lot of differences here. Have I dated younger than that? Yes, I dated a guy that was he was 22.
Oh wow!
And I was but actually, in hindsight, he was from a different country.
Right.
He was way different. He didn't act 21. He didn't act like a typical 21, 22-year-old around here. He was actually quite mature for his age, and he had been through a lot. Like, he'd been paralyzed at one point in his life. He had type 1 diabetes from a kid. Like, so he was just more well-rounded. Otherwise, that would have never happened.
So
never happened.
What's the allure with going younger, like as you get older, like to a female?
Well.
Yeah, Ashley, it's the time to be honest.
Really putting me on the spot.
We can all go.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think for me personally, I just get hit on by younger guys more often. And I don't know if it's just that they have more confidence or what it is. I just get hit on by, like, very rarely do I get hit on by men my age. And I don't know if it's just because they're all taken, because I am 37. Maybe they're married, maybe, whatever. But like, that's just overall, younger guys hit on me more often.
Well, you don't look 37, so that helps for sure.
I hope not. But yeah, like so I don't know. I don't think I specifically am like, ooh, he better be 26 or I'm not interested. Like, it's not like that.
So you're a cougar.
I know. I'm not like actively seeking out younger men. I just, if I'm chit-chatting with someone and they're attractive and they find me attractive and I say, how old are you? And they're like 28, 29, then I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Like, but I'm not specifically seeking them out.
Like, I don't know. You can chime in on this too, but like, do you think that, I think as I got older, like I stopped hitting on girls? Because like, I feel like that was like a younger thing. Like when I was younger, it was kind of like you're playing numbers, right?
Right.
It's like, well, you talk to everybody at the bar, somebody's gonna like.
Right. Eventually, you're gonna get somebody.
Yeah, like you're just you're going off a numbers thing, and then like you'll develop talking skills. But I don't think like as I get older, like I don't think I'm actively hitting on people.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Like I think it's just more like starting a conversation, maybe.
Yeah.
So do you think it's more like aggressive from like not aggressive, like, but do you think it's more like forward from?
Yeah, I
guys?
do. I do. Yeah.
Does it go over your head if it's somebody older? Like if somebody was just trying to start a conversation?
No, they just, it's kind of hard to say too. Like I don't go out a lot. I don't, I don't like socialize a whole lot either. So I suppose it just depends on the setting and where I'm at. But like, I don't know. I feel like I always end up chatting with younger men than me. Like it's not even intentional. Like I said, it's just how it always seems to happen. So, and I'm not going to be like, oh, no. Unless, if they say I'm 25, I'm like, no, learn my lesson there. But
I mean, with regard to the number, like, yeah, when we were younger, it was a numbers thing because I think, like you said, we did hit on women, right? Like that's
how you have to learn.
Right. That's how you learn. But I think as we get older as men and we develop our talking skills, I also think what comes along with it is we become more genuine and sincere with our intentions.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, women have a really good intuition. So I think, I don't know about for you. So I've noticed like as I got older, right? Like I talked to a lot of women when I was younger, but it was harder to maybe close. And as I got older, it became easier. And I'm not saying it because, you know, my game got better. It was more, I became a more sincere, genuine person. And the conversations and topics were coming from a place of, you know, from a good place. And I think women sense that when they're talking to you, if you're full of shit or if you genuinely want to sit there and have a conversation with them and get to know them.
Yeah. And I think as you grow, you also like, you get pickier in the sense of like, you need to be able to talk to a girl too. For girls and guys, it's like there's nothing worse than not being able to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we going to do?
Right.
Just look at each other. So I think it's that too, like to where it's like, I don't need to hit on everybody because it's like, it's almost pointless.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just so much time. It's like you're spending so much time and you're spreading yourself paper thin as opposed to like people that you actually want to talk to.
Right.
And like do other things with, obviously. But it's like that, just being able to have a conversation is like key. So it's like younger. And again, like back to the, like, nobody likes rejection anymore. When it's like, I think you have to get rejected. Like, especially as a guy. When you're young, it was like good. You learn these lessons.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing she can say, they always say no, but it's like you can get an ew here and there. Like I've heard a few ews in my day. It's like, hey, can I get you a drink? Ugh. I'm like,
Seriously?
Yeah, a little bit
and I'm going to kill myself. So.
No, you just brush it off. You're like, damn, okay, where did that go wrong?
You're like looking in the mirror. Is it that bad?
Yeah.
What was it?
Y'all ever been like verbally just like destroyed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have verbally destroyed men before.
There has been a time where I went up to a girl, tried to talk to her, and then her friends even fucking chimed in.
Yeah.
You're like, it was already bad enough.
You all.
But
And then you just walk home like, well, I'll just go fuck myself.
But you need that callous as a guy because it's
You
like
do.
I've had that too. The worst is when the friends chime in. That's like the saddest moment of like my life.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
And it's like it's almost like they were looking at me like making a list of the things they were going to say if I did approach. I'm like, how did you know all that? Like, how did you get that down?
They knew they were waiting for your approach.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, this guy's definitely coming up to us.
like he's been doing that eye tag thing all night where you like look and then you look away and then you look.
That's the one thing I stopped as I got older. If I make eye contact with you, at that point, I'm just talking to you.
yeah.
Immediately, without
There's
hesitation.
nothing more annoying than men from across the bar that just keep looking at you and smiling.
know.
And they do it for 2.5 hours and you're like, oh my God, grow
like,
a pair.
seriously.
Like if you want to, don't make me come to you. Like,
Right.
come on.
They say men are supposed to make the first move, but here's my thing with that. I don't think a girl should approach you, but you got to give me a signal that I can go approach.
I agree.
Let me in. Like let me know the landing is okay.
Yeah. I mean, a smile should do it.
That's
right?
it. Yeah, literally
Like,
smile. I'm cool with that. But that does a lot more than people think. Because
Yeah.
if you're not engaging me whatsoever, like not even a look or a glance,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go bother this person.
Right.
Yeah.
But like for young guys, I think it's good to just approach because you have to learn that. You have to learn like what's good and what's bad. I think the
You do.
rejection thing is good.
Yeah. What body language is actually her not interested and,
Guys
you know.
get so offended now. Have you seen?
Oh my God.
It's insane. I told you, it's that entitlement. It's that sense. It's like they just feel like anybody.
Participation
Yeah,
trophy.
it's insane. It's like why do you feel so entitled to have something or someone? Like why are you above being rejected by someone?
Yeah, it's funny to me. Like I see some like girls will show me their messages sometimes, and these guys will just basically be talking to themselves in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
And then some girls are really nice and be like, "I'm just not interested right now," or
Right.
something like super kind. And the guy will be like, "You're not that pretty anyway."
Yep.
Like, bro, come on now, man. Like,
Man.
like what the hell? Like, what was the point of that? Like, I don't know if that made you feel better or
Right.
what. Like, you got rejected.
Seriously.
It's all right.
I
It
literally, one time I was in Phoenix, I was walking into the store and this guy like approached me and I was just like, oh, you know, I'm not interested or whatever. He literally was like, yelled at me.
Really?
Literally that's what he said. He's like, F you, you're ugly anyway. And then walked off and I was like, really? Really? Like,
I wasn't ugly
then
5
why did
minutes
you
ago.
hit on me? I'm that ugly, huh?
Everybody's just hitting on ugly people, but
Yeah.
don't say it till the end. I
I'm
guess.
like, does
seriously.
that should offend you more than it offends me?
Yeah,
Like,
It's like these guys, like they miss the point. Like you can't have success without failure, right? And that's in anything that you do. So you should never be offended by it. Like you have to have failures in your life, whether it's talking to women in business, life, whatever it is. Otherwise, you can't learn from your mistakes. I mean, it's crazy.
It goes back to battle of the sexes. That's why everybody is so like it's okay. Like on both ends, like you said, like you're not everybody's type all the time. Like there's like I always like to say, like where there's, when somebody's attractive, male or female, when they walk in a room and everybody gets insecure. Like nobody's worried. Nobody's worried about anybody else. And then you get like a Brad Pitt that just walks in the room. And even guys are like, shit. Damn it.
That's a handsome guy.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, 6'4", you said? Yeah, just
chiseled jawline.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's just funny to think where you can't, like, these insecurities are so bad that you get mad at other people for knowing what you already know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's pretty people out there. That's what my dad always raised me on. He's like, there's a lot of people that are going to be a lot like more handsome than you.
Right.
And there's going to be a lot of people that are not as attractive as you. That's just the way life goes with everybody. So that like helped me out a lot growing up.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's like, yeah. So my dad was that was where my dad was cool. He was pretty bluntly honest with me about a lot of stuff. So it helped me out a lot.
It's a good thing though. I mean, I feel like that's, like I said, kids are they're coddled too much today, right? Like they really are. And it really does. It fucks them up in life because at the end of the day, they can't deal with things like rejection. Yeah. You know, they have a hard time with it. They get bitter or sour or resentful. And they start a podcast called Fresh and Fit. And, you know, that's what happens.
And they only have girls on that are younger than them
Right.
and haven't had any life experience and don't know how to defend themselves.
And they try to fuck them after the show.
Yeah. It's so, the hypocrisy's nuts. And then they
Isn't
have
it?
yeah, like it's just fucking weird. But it's like, did you see they have they do the whatever one too.
Yeah,
and
whatever
that one
podcast.
yeah, that takes traction. And it's like, I feel bad because like I knew a girl that went on that one. And again, you're just like fucking just breaking these girls down. And it's like the whole point of the podcast is literally you have people that are going to agree with you the whole time.
Right.
And you've given people, like I said, you give people that have, because I can't say the guys on Fresh and Fit are stupid. Like, dude has a college degree, but it's like the mentality is stupid. He's not a stupid guy. He might be intellectual, but the things that you're saying are dumb.
Yeah.
And you're setting people up for failure. And it's not how you are if you're going to try to hook up with the girls right after and you keep like.
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah, it's just funny to me that it's taken so much traction. So like my goal, like when I did like social media, I'm like, I just want to be the counter to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember dudes ever being like that.
They weren't. It's a new trend. It's ridiculous.
I don't remember like, I remember like, I couldn't count on one hand like the amount of guys that would call out like minute shit on girls to just be like, oh, that's a no for me.
Right.
Couldn't do it. Like just small things. So I'm like, when did it take place to where we just came into this world of just, we hate girls or like girls hate guys? Like when did that happen?
Yeah. And I want to know too, like with the Fresh and Fit and the whatever, what is the goal? Like, what is the point, though? Like, what are they trying to prove exactly?
The whole point is literally, like, they want to make this case of men are superior and, like, we have to do this, that, and the third. And it's, I think that's literally the book. I'm telling you, you got to look that book
But
up.
why do they think they're superior?
Because that's their alpha, or what they think is an alpha mentality.
I'm just thinking of the guys that are actually on those shows, and I'm not, there's not a single one of them that I'm like, wow, now that guy. They're very average, normal looking.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily eloquently speaking. Their points aren't exactly, revolutionary. And so I'm just like going, what about them makes them superior? And even in their own mind, like.
Well, they think they're going to band together all the men in the world in some type of revolution against women. I don't know.
For what? To make all the women hate them in the world? That'll go really well for them. Because let me tell you something. If women decided to just stop sleeping with men altogether, men would just be miserable.
What is it? The
miserable
4B movement?
4B movement.
Yeah.
But if men did that, women would be fine. Women would be fine.
The sexual side. I mean,
yeah, they would be like, whatever.
Adam and Eve sales would be incredible.
Yeah, right? Men and women alike both need to realize that we can't live without each other.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's so funny where it's like, oh, like the I don't need a man conversation, and then with guys, it's like, oh, I don't need a girl conversation. It's like I do. Like I want it. Like that sounds nice
Same.
to me. Like if that makes me like low on the totem pole of masculinity, I don't know when liking girls became unmasculine, but
Seriously,
I'll stay in the era where I'll fucking whatever's going on.
Yeah.
But I think that show kind of came about because I think it's literally just a cry of like having to be a guy. like there was a point where it's like if you like somebody, you do shit. Like I remember like growing up, it's like you you would always have like parents like, oh, tell your mom thank you. Or like, you know what I mean? It was like, but you were supposed to do that. Like, you know what I mean? You do that for girls. That's like what you were raised to do. Like, oh, tell them thank you. Or like hold the door up, whatever. Like even as a kid, like you're supposed to do those things. Or like let her go first. Fucking standard. And then it's like being a guy is thankless in a good way because you're doing it out of love. Like you're doing certain things. Like you never get a lot of dad, like Father's Day cards that are like, thanks for paying the electric bill. Like if then like a dual family home. But it was like you did that because you loved your family.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't something that you needed these praise and this applause for. Like it wasn't like that. So it's like,
well, being a mother is thankless. I mean, cleaning a house is thankless.
but now I think it's turned into that. I think back in the day, I think it was appreciated.
Yeah, but I also think what a man provided was appreciated too back then.
Oh yeah, but again,
You know?
like it wasn't like a thing that you needed applause for. You were just a guy.
Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, the role was the role.
But now it's a thing of like, tell me how great I'm doing all the time. Like,
Yeah.
tell me, like, I need these affirmations where it's like, I think it was just like, I think it was something that you expected out of yourself. Like at least the guys I looked up to, like growing up, like my uncles, my dads, or like other people's dads, it's like, there was never any like applause. They didn't need it. They were just being good dudes.
I was raised like, listen, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, then you don't hear shit.
Yeah.
It's when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's when you hear somebody.
And
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's the people that aren't doing it that really want for every little thing, you need some sort of feedback. Like, tell me how great that was. Did you see how good that was? Did you see how good? It's like, I think that was a downfall in masculinity too, where it's like, just be a guy. It's cool to be a guy. You should be happy that you have the ability to do certain things.
Absolutely.
And you don't need a whole podcast or a show telling you how great you did at that thing.
Right.
You're just a good dude. You go through life and, you know, people know that you're a great person. But now it's like, let's get the trophies.
Exactly. The participation awards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's why, I mean, listen, it used to be that everybody was happy in their role, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like men didn't need a pat on the back. Women didn't either. Women did what they did. The feminist movement started. And honestly, that was accepted, not right at first, but listen, if you're a woman and you want to work. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom or a homemaker, that was fine. No one ever disputed these things. Now, today, it's like everybody, like you said, just needs a pat from the other. It's like, why can't you just do you and I'll do me and we both appreciate each other? We can do it in our own way. We could do it in silence. We could, compliment each other. It's like, why does it have to be expected? And why do you get so bitter when you don't hear it?
Yeah.
Like what happened? Like I never needed that from anybody.
Yeah. And there's people that get fucked over by partners pretty bad. And I think they have like a case to where they're upset, but I don't know when it became like a common thing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that, like you hear some stories where it's like, that wasn't that bad. That kind of just happens. You get broken up with, some people get cheated on, like it happens. And those are like, I can understand resentment from that side. But it's like, there's things now where it's just like, just because you're not getting an ego boost or an ego stroke, you're still pissed off. It's just as somebody that's been really like screwed over.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I made a video the other day. It was supposed to be funny, where I was like, how men expect women to act for the bare minimum. And I was like, going, thank you, please, please, thank you. Oh my God, thank you, please, please, anything. I'll do anything just for the bare minimum. And men were pissed. They were pissed. But I mean, let's be real. Like, there's a lot of people like that.
So
like,
since we have you here, like what is bare minimum?
Just the very standard, I'll take you to dinner and I'll open a freaking door. Asking for that these days is like, you're asking way too much. That is a lot to ask of a man these days. Like to expect him to treat you like with courtesy and chivalry, that is just expecting a lot.
I can understand that. Okay. And then what's the next level up from that? Like what would be like the progression of it? Like, okay, like let's on a scale to like bare minimum to love bombing.
I would say women expecting commitment of any kind. Like that's asking a lot too these days. Like to expect a man to want to date you and only you, that's a big ask, Like how dare you? Like we need to go with the flow.
Yeah.
We got to go with the flow. Like I have other people out here, like I can't do that for you. Which is fine. Be honest about it, I guess. But like, why is that such a big ask? I don't understand. If you're like really into someone, you should really only be into someone, like.
You know what I think we're saying? I'll be honest. I don't know. Maybe you agree or don't, but I think what we're seeing a lot of today is, especially with social media, temptation has just been propelled into society in a way that it never has been, right? Like we never had access the way that we do today. Yeah. Women couldn't post pictures the way they do. Men also, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're realizing now just how weak we can be as human beings, right? Like we're falling in to that temptation a lot. Guys are, women are, and honestly, it has to a degree. It's torn down like the nuclear family and your typical relationship because everybody's acting out.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to refrain
Yeah.
from crossing that line.
Yeah. I
Simply
agree.
because it's accessible to them. It's like, dude, you know.
I had this video concept that I wanted to do. I always try to make it like lighthearted and funny, like when I do a video. But like I always say, like, know the difference between naked and pretty.
Right.
Right. Because it's like you can go, if you have all, like, everything that is designed, I'm just going to speak from a dude's perspective, but everything that's designed on a female, like their body parts, their sexual organs, the things that we're enticed by, it's like a primal thing that we, like, bigger breasts means like you could feed kids, right? That's just something primal in us. Bigger, like curvier hips, like you can bear children a little bit better. There's like things like that that are literally primal instincts that we're attracted to.
Right.
We've made them like very, it's new culture, but there is those things where if you see those, you will get, like, it's just arousal.
Yeah.
It's not like, so you're like when you talk temptation, it's like it's temptation because those things are arousing. So you're just like showing off these attributes that I'm again speaking as a guy, it's like women know what guys are attracted to.
Right.
And that's common knowledge. But what I think is cool, what's funny to me now is I feel like you're going to create a saturated market.
Right.
So it's like, it's heading that direction where it's like how many girls in like bikini, and like, there's nothing wrong with this. I'm like a fan of, I'm cool with bikini pictures.
Right.
Thumbs up, keep them going.
Keep them coming.
Yeah. Like not talking shit about that at all, but you're getting to a point now where it's like, it's not as alluring as like when you got to see, like it was like hard to see.
Right.
Now it's just all over. Like, it's like, it's not.
There's nothing sacred.
Yeah. Like it's still cool to see, but it's like, it's just fucking like, you can scroll and see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can't go through 3 photos without seeing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, nothing wrong with it. Like we were having this conversation of like, you only have your body once and you should be able to wear it and like, use like, be hot, like guy or girl, like you're only going to have this skin. We're all going to get saggy. We're all going to get wrinkly. We're going to get the liver spots. And it's cool to be able to wear, like, as a guy, like wearing swim trunks, going shirtless, tank tops, like do that, show off what you worked for. Same thing with girls. It's like you have a body, like go ahead and do that. But when it's posted as something that you're trying to get likes for, then it looks different. Like if it's just girls like partying on a boat, whatever, you guys just look great. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's awesome to see. Like it's more of like a candid, we're just hanging out type thing.
Right.
To where it's advertised to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a completely different kind of view on like when it's like, look at this. Like I want you to look at this as opposed to like, we're just looking good, like out looking good. Did you see that? Did you see the girl that flashed at the Oilers game?
Oh, I did. They got rid of the what do you call it because of it?
The what did they get
Oh,
rid
they
of?
did. I'm sorry. Maybe it's a different story. You ever see they put the live feed TV? So it's supposed to be something. I think I don't know if it's in New York where it is. So anyway, it was a broadcast into a bar in another country.
Okay.
So they had the TV screen on the street, and the woman went up to the screen and flashed everybody.
No, you're talking about the portal, right?
Yeah, the
like in New
portal.
York,
Yes, yes.
No, so this is recent. I don't know if have you seen it? The girl that flashed at the hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers.
I feel like I did see a clip for it actually.
Me and him are on.
You guys are in sync right now. I know.
I was like, it's like
Dog's like a girl flashing.
The caption says, I'm suddenly a fan of hockey now.
Yeah,
right.
I'm a huge hockey fan. No, but like what was funny is like she did, and like here's the thing, like I can't talk shit about her because like she did it like out of an impulse. She just did it for fun.
Right.
Like, she was just, and it's like when you saw that, like I was listening to this conversation and I thought it was cool because it's like there's nothing better than just seeing like because you see it online all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not alluring on, like, again, the market's saturated, but just seeing a pair of calcium cannons out in the wild is like a nice fucking, it's a nice, like, she fucking made and she got these contracts too, like Cam Soda, there was like a couple sports podcasts that reached out to her, but it's like, I think, like to hate on that girl for just like, she just did something fun real quick. She just fucking did it. And like, it wasn't like, and she's obviously getting the bash side of it where it's like, that's gross. How could you ever? I'm like, she's just fucking around. Like she just did it, like she did it. And I thought it was just so funny that was a big thing. Cause it's life.
Right.
Like that was an in real life moment. It made it so fun because she just fucking did it out of impulse. She was just fucking around and having a good time. And it's like, again, with that was like the perfect moment to see this backlash. I was like, oh, she's a hoe. That's so slutty. I could never. Like, you have all that.
Right.
But then you have this other side where it's like, I'm glad to see people are still fucking, just being funny and like just doing, like, dumb, fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody does it anymore. It's kind of like because you feel like you're going to be judged by everyone immediately. Someone's going to catch you on camera, and you're like,
Yeah.
You
We're
know?
sued.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was just such a refreshing thing to see. I was like, she brought entertainment back.
right.
Did you guys ever take road trips when you were younger? And
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
have, like
all
the
the time.
flash me sign, or like you
Yeah,
go to Mexico.
Yes,
Sure.
you can't do that now.
Yeah, you can't. Like now it's like now
You'd
you're
get pulled over.
yeah, you're getting like, but it was all in good fun, and it's like those were things where it was like those are fun things where it's like now it's just so demonized where it's like you're just fucking around.
Right.
You're making a joke. If it happens, you're like, yeah, like you were excited about it, but it's like now it's just that's gross. And then it's like all men are the same. I'm like, dudes like boobs. I feel like that's like a pretty okay thing. Like, it's
Yeah,
okay
for
guys to
sure.
like that. That's
Absolutely.
fine. Like, but it's like now it's like, is that all guys care about? It's like, no, it's not the only thing. But
Right.
you saw what happened at that hockey game.
Right.
Dude, everybody's an Oilers fan now.
Right.
People switch teams. Nobody likes the kid. Everybody's going to Oilers.
Yeah. No, I get it.
That girl's got front row seats for the
Right,
rest of her life.
forever.
And that's cool. Like there was nothing wrong with it. But
No.
it's like society now is like, it's just so sensitive about.
Yeah, everybody tries to fit into the societal construct now, which is just, it's unfortunate. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I mean, you should always try to conduct yourself appropriately. But like you said, an impulsive, fun thing, like that's fine. We all used to do it. Right now, today, you get completely, you get canceled for it. If you're not careful, depending on what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
I feel like that was like a normal thing, like forever. I feel like we
Yeah.
had a construct because it's like, okay, when I was growing up and you heard the term boys will be boys, there's like, again, they're like boys like girls, like there's like naked magazines, Playboys, like there's like things like that. And that was fine. And like roughhousing, getting dirty, like that was
Right.
boys will be boys. It turned into something way different now. No, it's like, oh, she was too drunk for me to hook up with her. Like, yeah, that might be a bad thing. That has nothing to do with boys will be boys. You're just fucking weird.
Right.
Like, we never tried to justify that ever. I
Right.
don't remember there was ever a time where we tried to be
No.
like, yeah, she couldn't talk, but
It's fine. Boys will be
Fine.
boys.
Right.
boys will be boys.
Her eyes are rolling back, but
Yeah, she's fucking damn near ODing, but
Right.
it's just guys fucking around. I'm like, we never fought for that, like ever. Like, there was
No.
never a time. Like, you'd probably like slap your friend. You'd be like, "What are you doing, dude? She's asleep. What the fuck is going on?"
What are you
here?
going to get from this? Seriously.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember a time like that's changed.
Yeah.
We keep trying to use excuses, and the excuses become like you just keep pushing this boundary. It's like, no, let's keep it. It was fine right here.
Yeah.
We were fine. Again, the being a dude thing, that's what I wanted to. It was weird because the social media stuff and the TikToks, like I wanted it to be for guys.
Right.
Like I wanted guys to see it and be like, he's got a point.
Yeah.
And girls just took it and girls ran with
That's
it.
great, though.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm stoked for that, but it's like I want to get to a point with it where it's like guys can hear it and be like, oh yeah, that was fun. Like that was a good era because we were just guys and everything was normal and you knew right from wrong and you knew just common courtesy of shit and
Yeah.
it's like disappeared.
Yeah.
So that was like my point with it, and I wanted to bring that back. And I'm glad girls like it. Like I'm very thankful for the
Yeah.
followers that I have, and like I get messages and stuff that people feel really comfortable asking like questions about either their boyfriends, their husbands, whatever.
Right.
So I get like some really cool questions, and the fact that I've built this comfortability for them to ask that
Yeah.
is cool. Like I'm stoked, and I hope like they share it so guys see it because I wanted it to be like guys, you're being fucking weird now. Like let's bring it
Yeah.
back home. Let's bring it
Let's go back to being boys for real, though.
Well, that's how it should be, right? Like the women took to it because you're coming from a place of how probably most women feel men should be,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
so it,
How they want them to be.
yeah, so it took. But the problem with the society we live in today is that you have the guys that just don't say shit, and then you have the guys that are on the fresh and fit and whatever
Yeah.
side of things, right? So no one's, unfortunately, they're just not. A majority of them are not taking to that kind of. I mean, they're just. It's. I don't know how to change it. I mean, I get your intention completely, and I think it's great, and that's what we need because there's too many on the opposite side of things. But how do you bring them on?
Well, I think it is at a point like you just go in a different direction of like the fresh and fit people are just basically calling dudes soft all day.
Simps.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking
Simps.
word.
Soft simps, like whatever. Like you have all this like narrative, but it's like I think you're softer if you get that upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No.
I can't, like, there's been posts every once in a while where, I'll get compliments from like guys or whatever. There was a guy one time that wrote on there, enjoy all the simps, just because they were saying like, so pretty, you look beautiful. I'm like, so just a man calling a woman beautiful these
Yeah.
days? They're a simp now?
Simp.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. They should have been saying slut.
Right.
Ho.
You're hideous.
Like there was never like a
You're
time,
ugly.
There was never a time where like you'd leave a bar with your friends and be like, how many girls you talk to? 0, bro. I ain't no fucking simp.
Yeah, right.
I don't do that shit.
Girls.
Come to me.
Mostly girls.
I'd rather kick it with the boys, dude.
Yeah.
Circle jerk at the house when we get back, dude.
Right?
Fuck this. I'm not buying a drink. It's $14. I'm not gonna spend.
Yeah,
Let's save that. Fucking to hell with that, dude.
No, it's
They
true,
should be
though.
buying mine.
Yeah, it's like fucking sin. And then a lot of girls buy drinks.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, where are you?
wild.
Yeah, it's like so many girls will buy you a drink. Like it's such a common thing. Like I'm like, where do you guys not get that done? Girls will buy you a drink just because you're cool. Like not
Yeah.
even like trying to hook up
Yeah.
or anything. Not in a flirty way. They'll be like, you're awesome. Like let me get you a drink. Or they'll just throw their card out there.
Yeah,
And like it's cool. Like I think that's a cool back and forth. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
not at all. I don't think that's the other thing. Like, I don't think I've ever. I mean, listen, I've had girls offer, and that's great. I don't think I've ever accepted having a girl buy me a drink before. I don't know. Never like.
Some will just do it behind your back.
Yeah, that's different though. But at the end of the day, I just
Assholes.
feel like it's a great offer. I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm just more traditional
well,
that
you're
way.
probably in a good financial place too. You know, that plays.
Well,
a role.
yeah, I'm not looking at it from that side though. But yeah, I get it. I'm just saying that I just feel like it's that is what men expect a lot today, and I just don't again know when it changed. I feel like we never really expected that from the women in our life.
Yeah, and I think too, like to a degree, it's like what's the vibe with you and that? Like, because it's like if you met you went to a bar and you meet some dudes that like you're really cool with.
Right.
You guys would buy each other drinks all night.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like, okay, with a girl, like let's say there's no expectation to hook up or like go anywhere. Like it's fine to do that for each other.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You can buy, and then at the end of the day, you're spending the same amount of money because it's like you just buy one, I'll buy the second.
Right,
It's
exactly.
we're going
Right.
back to the money's going out in the same direction.
Right.
But I think some guys are like, if you go into a bar and you're expecting that the drink is going to do this miraculous work for you as if there's not 150 other guys
Right.
buying a drink. Like it's fucking crazy. Like if she did, I mean, she's going to take it. Like nothing wrong with that. You bought her a drink. You can't get mad about buying a girl a drink and then be like, so nothing's happening?
Right. And
Right.
Like you're not coming back with me?
Yeah,
I thought that
exactly.
this espresso martini didn't do it for you? I know you don't know me at all, but I thought this is how this worked.
Yeah, that argument. Look at the world.
Yeah.
How many other guys are out here buying you drinks?
Everybody.
All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us as usual. Please continue to give us your feedback. You know we enjoy it. Let us know if there's any topics you'd like to hear about in the future. We're more than open to taking requests. Jacob, thank you for joining us today, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Be
me.
sure to check this guy out at Jacob Lee Razo on IG and at Jacob Lee Razo on TikTok. All right, everybody, that's it for today. It is a wrap. Definitely be sure to tune in next week with our special guest, Jacob Razo. Thank you, guys. See you next week.